This is a tale of two Theodores and their one meeting. One would say of the meeting it was a bit irritating. The other would say it was humiliating. We're going to trace the traits of both Theodores leading up to and from that meeting. Theodore Roosevelt, better known as Teddy, was sickly as a child and had to be propped up in a chair or in bed in order to sleep. He outgrew his asthma, but to overcome his weaker nature, he had to follow his father's advice and participate in strenuous exercise and athletics. He took up boxing, and one of his sparring partners left him blind in one eye. The light has left my life. That's what Teddy wrote in his diary of 1884 on Valentine's Day. In the space of just 12 hours, he lost his beloved wife and his loving mother to unexpected illnesses. In order to bury his great pain, he didn't run for re-election as an assemblyman in the New York state government. He instead went out west as a cowboy for 2 years. He was tending to cattle, chasing after outlaws, hunting for big game, and writing books about it. In a dozen years, he called on his cowboy compatriots to join the Rough Riders, helping to liberate Cuba. He became an American war hero. At the age of just 42, he became president. And his policy was to speak softly, but carry a big stick. And his big stick was a battleship. The Senate in 1902 had approved plans to build a canal across a province in Colombia called Panama. The Colombians reneged on the deal, so Roosevelt called in his fleet of battleships, helping to support Panama's bid for independence and helping build that canal. For such a bigger than life Theodore, 2 terms as president was not enough. With an interim of 4 years, he ran again as a third party candidate. He split the Republican vote, putting a Democrat in office. Woodrow Wilson declined his offer to lead a division in World War I of volunteers. That brings us to 1918 and the meeting with the other Theodore, Theodore Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. This Teddy had 4 wars that he was personally involved in. The most important for him, the war against illiteracy. Why Johnny Can't Read was the title of a book that came out in 1955 that had publishers wondering, how can we make more enjoyable this reading for children? Ted Geisel, Dr. Seuss, had the answer. In a book of 220 known words recognizable to first graders, he set to verse The Cat in the Hat. Ted's second war, World War II, had him as a political cartoonist. In a New York newspaper, he published over 400 political cartoons, with ones like this, the caption reading, "Cages cost money. Buy U.S. savings bonds." Ted's third war started him in his career as a cartoonist for 17 years. He helped with the campaign for a popular pesticide called Flit. That brings us to World War I. Ted was just 14 years old, but he had helped raise over $1,000 for Liberty bonds, and he was to be recognized along with 9 other Boy Scouts. They were assembled at the Municipal Auditorium at Springfield, Massachusetts, and none other than former President Theodore Roosevelt was to do the honors. The 9 boys before Ted all crossed the stage and were given a medal by the former president. When it came time for Ted to cross the stage, Theodore Roosevelt had run out of medals, and he looked down at this boy and bellowed, "What's this boy doing here?" The timid scoutmaster whisked Ted off the stage. And Ted always pointed to that meeting with Theodore Roosevelt as causing his abnormal fear of audiences. Teddy Roosevelt lived just one more year, dying at age 60. Ted Geisel lived for 73 more years and always normally would turn down any request of speaking engagements. If only Ted Geisel, Dr. Seuss, had gone to Toastmaster meetings.